Hello and welcome to the 13th session of Primordial Harmony, a heavily modified run-through of Wizard of the Coast's Princess of the Apocalypse adventure module. I am your DM, Mike, and I am joined by...
I suppose I will be going first today. I'm Brittany, and I'm playing a tiefling monk named Carahill.
I am Kitties, and I am playing the illustrious Hum, who is a gnome bard.
Heyo, my name is Miles. I'm playing Tadias Aden, what's the term? I forget the angel people. Why am I spacing my own character?
Azamar.
Azamar, that's it. I just didn't want to say Asamar. Azamar Seeker.
Hello, I'm Justin. I'm playing Zacharo Vitalis, a Fire Genasi Shovel Master.
Shovel Master. Alright. And...
Getting lofty with the titles, I like it.
They get loftier and loftier.
He's going to be Shadow Emperor next day.
Nyx, who plays Illyria, a ranger, a Wood Elven ranger, will be late this evening. Hopefully late, and as opposed to not here at all. But she has informed us to get started without her, and so we shall. So who wants to give us a recap?
Let's see. I believe what had happened was we were in a warehouse. We were investigating this cult of the Crashing Wave, who are planning some sort of nefarious business in the town of Roland. And we ended the session right in this warehouse, and we started the session as a cult member kind of just walked up, said, "How do you do?" and ran away from us. We tracked him down to a beachside, had a encounter with a few tougher individuals of the cult. I mean, they kind of whipped us up pretty bad, including some shark rider and a dude casting spells out in the ocean, which is kind of cheap. But either way, we managed to survive that, got back into town, relaxed, rested. Hum played some wonderful music at the bar and tavern, and I believe we just got all of our bearings and talked to all the people we need to about the going nefarious plans of this group.
And you had woken up this morning, the morning of the...
What is the calendar?
The morning of the 29th of Tarsak. And I believe everyone was just out and about shopping. I think what we're going to do is pick things up right where we left off. And
We were headed to Lena to go pick up Dante.
yes, but before that,
Uh-oh.
Zachariel standing in front of a halfling shop owner who just sold him a couple books. He looks you in the eye, Zachariel. He gives you a friendly grin and he says, "Anything else you want?"
I look longingly into his eyes, and I say, "No, I think this will be enough. Thank you."
Alright, have a good day, and I hope your kid enjoys the book.
Oh, have you ever seen one of these signs? And I'm just gonna scribble down what I remember of the wave shield, or the crushing wave.
And to remind any viewers, looks like that. And he eyes it, and he furrows his brow and says, "Can't say I've seen anything like that."
Alright, have you ever seen anything like that? Run.
Okay. You want to tell me why?
Dangerous people.
Hmm.
If you have any friends that look like me, tell them to avoid them at all cost.
He looks at you, he looks up at your flaming hair, he nods and he says, "Alright."
Have a good day.
Thank you. What's everyone else doing? Were you just gonna head to Leonard's warehouse?
Yes,
Right.
I miss Dante.
Alright, I'll head with him.
I don't miss Dante, but I'll go ahead along.
How can you not miss Dante?
I didn't want to have him in the first, if you remember correctly.
He's just a dog.
Just what?
I wonder if Lanad was, gracious enough to actually give him a bath. We're a little bit behind on bathing our friend.
I'll throw him off the harbor if you didn't.
I like how
He
there's gonna
smells fine. He
Party
smells
drama
like
over
a
now.
dog.
I mean, I've been in my share of taverns with my share of drunks, and I'm not like the weakest with smell, but Dante does have a distinct odor.
So eventually,
Hum gets a little huffy.
you all meet up with Zachariel, and I assume you're just kind of walking down the road to get to the warehouse that Lana had referred to you. And it doesn't take long to get there. Just a quick walk around or walkabout, and when you get to here and you round that tree, you hear general, basically what you're hearing right now, the sound of the pier swaying in the water, and people working with tools. And when you get in front of the warehouse, it's open. And when you get to the warehouse, it's open. You look in, and you can see a bunch of halflings and one or two humans just working on what looks to be the hull of a new ship.
That fish smelled so good when we walked by there.
I'm so tired of fish. I literally received a bitch slap from the ocean the other day. I want none of the fish. And I walk into the warehouse. I'm looking for Lanad. Just
one of the halflings puts down his hammer and says, he nods upward with his head, and he looks like he's gesturing toward an office that's sort of lofted off of the ground, with some stairs leading up to it. It's like a mezzanine in the back of the warehouse.
I see. There you go.
I whistle for Dante.
And everyone make me a perception check.
Button. Who's got the button? Oh, I didn't change my thing to my token. Hiya.
Thank you for reminding me.
8 don't do nothing for me. There you go.
It's okay, I rolled a 17. We're
You
safe.
monster.
Alright, Hum is the only one who hears it. Hum, you can hear, as soon as you whistle against the door, you hear a like the sound of claws scratching against wood. Not scratching, but when dogs walk along hardwood floors, that the paws hit the ground, but also their claws.
Mm-hmm.
That let me out.
Yeah. What do you do?
Go towards the sound.
Okay. So you walk up the stairs and you get on to the mezzanine, and you are in front of a door with a window, a small square window at the top. It's too tall for you, Hum, but Zachariel and Tadias can easily look into it. And you look in and you can see a halfling who you recognize as Lanad sitting at a desk and doing some paperwork. And then immediately under the door, you see Dante scratching up against it. And he looks over and he looks up and he sees... Whose face does he see? Or do you guys both have your faces smushed together in the window?
Yes.
I lift up Hum so she can get her face smushed in here as well.
I do that blow face on the window.
He gives you a smile and he kind of just waves you in. And you figure out easily that the door wasn't locked or anything.
Alright, I pop up in the door and
Dante just tries to tackle you.
No. All right. I give him
He
some
gives you a lick.
pats.
Then
I
he
miss
goes.
you too.
Then he goes to Zachariel, starts licking him. Then he almost knocks Hum to the ground as he greets her as well with a couple of dog licks.
She giggles and puts her arms around his neck. I missed you, Dante,
And then
even if nobody else did.
And then he looks up at Carahill, and then like he recognizes like is it disdain or ambivalence?
As she's watching all of this, Carahill's sitting there just rolling her eyes. So that'll give you
Maybe somewhere between ambivalence and disdain. So he just notices like her distaste, and he just kind of like, and then he surprises you a little bit, and he gives you like somewhat of a nod, just a curt nod. And then he goes back to loving all over Hum.
Leonard, it's good to see you. We were just here to compatriot.
Oh, go ahead and have him. He's quite an eater.
Yes, he most certainly is.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind him smelling a little salty. He jumped in the water.
See, he knew he needed a bath.
Now he smells like the fish. Ugh.
He smells like low tide. Like not really bad, but like like essence of low tide cologne on this dog.
Dog smell and low tide, nice.
Oh yeah.
Distinct.
And then Leonard, his face perks up and he says, "Did you need the voucher?"
Yes, we were also here for that.
He opens up a drawer and he pulls out a slip of paper, and it has the logo of Clear Currents on it, which I have somewhere in my notes, but I actually didn't make a handout for this. So you'll just have to imagine a slip of paper that has a circle with like 3 squiggly lines, and it's like blue wax almost, and he hands it to you.
Hey, Leonard, is there any place where I could give this dog a bath?
I mean, they have a washroom at most of the inns. I know the Blustery Blue has one.
I don't know that we have time for that. We'll have to catch him at the next inn. So he smells like dog in low tide for a little while longer, guys.
At least until you get next to the river, because you'll be walking along the river.
Yeah, I'll catch some other flavors as we head over to the next place. Alright, is there anything else we need to do here? I'd prefer, if possible, to start heading out. We have business to attend to.
Let's get to it then.
Alright. Thank you again, Leonard. You've been a pleasure.
Shakes your hand, goes to shake everyone's hands. Not a problem.
Take care.
We'll keep watch here.
Do that. Right. I guess we head off. We don't still have a cart, so we can just start heading out from here if you guys want to start going to Forthstride.
Let's just do it.
Alright.
Let's shift pin. Can I shift pin? Thank you. And yeah, you guys, you leave, roll it behind in the sort of mid-morning, and start hoofing your way toward Forthstride. That can go away. And let's go to the map page for fun. That's Forthstride. There we go. And always
What a quick journey.
Well, for your characters, no? Alright.
Yeah, we're not teleporting.
Cool. So, you guys cross over the bridge over the Tudera River. The water rushes underneath your feet.
Would y'all like me to wash him while we're here at the river?
The where the bridge is, it's actually kind of a cliff face with about a 20-foot drop. There's like a set of kind of crappy stairs, but and you could get down there easily, but it's sort of a there's no real platform at the bottom of these stairs. It just kind of goes into the river.
I mean, we'll all probably need a bath when we get to Forthstride. We can just take him then.
Okie dokie. I offered.
All right. So it's quite an uneventful journey, actually. However,
What?
when you get to about here, you do see something. You look off to Illyria is the first person to point it out, and she looks off north north toward the her hair. Like once it gets in sight, she just kind of like her head snaps to it, and you all have the same kind of reaction when you see this like sight. You go, wait, is that? And then as you get closer, you see about 5 goblin corpses haphazardly kind of strewn across the bushes, one on the ground. And as you get closer, you see a wolf just kind of like taking what he will from a goblin corpse. And as you pass by, he kind of growls at you. And Dante, like, his tail shoots up, and he looks at the wolf.
No, Dante.
Oh, perfect.
No.
That was too good.
I
He starts
no,
barking.
Dante, stop.
And then that was way too perfect.
Yep.
And
what?
he
Something bad's gonna happen now.
no, the wolf just growls at him more, and kind of looks at all of you, and then grabs the goblin corpse in his teeth and kind of slinks into the brush, leaving your sight.
Ah, the beauty of nature.
Most certainly.
Dante's gonna get his ass killed.
And you're also near the river shore. And it's at this point it's growing to the sun setting.
While we're at the goblins, is there any check we can make to make sure they're responsible for it and they're not just finding it afterwards?
You want to make sure what?
I was hoping I could make a check to see that it was the wolves that were indeed the ones that took down the goblins rather than something taking them out and the wolves finding them.
Oh, make a nature check.
I can do that.
You look over the goblins, and it's pretty clear that there are wounds from arrows and swords.
It was probably the group that left the day before.
Potentially. Forthstride services on the outside, the militia might have done it as well.
True enough.
You get the, I mean, first thought in the likely first thought is that it's probably way shields, and Zachariel, you can recognize that it probably was the way shields that left earlier.
It was probably the way shields that left earlier.
Oh,
I know
That-
these strikes. I've
That's what I
practiced them
said.
well.
if that's the case, then we know that they came through here safely.
See how the slashes go for vital organs rather than...
I mean, the goblins are quite frail. Almost everything's vital for them.
Yep. I usually go for the neck. Easy to pop the heads off.
I don't think I've accomplished that one. I'll look out for it next time. But we should be off.
It's like a party.
So you get a couple more miles, and when you get to here, Dante starts a protest. You all feel pretty tired, and the sun starts to sink under the horizon.
We feeling like camp?
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah, it's not like we're in any rush.
This was around the area that our journey began. Are we sure that it's safe to camp?
It's hard to say.
Well, if we all take shifts tonight, we can be ready for anything.
Carol,
Back.
I am sure of nothing more than that it is not safe to camp out here. But we all need our beauty sleep.
I suppose so.
I don't know what you speak of. The three.
I was looking at Tadias when I said that.
I look at the other 4 people and like, I see very attractive people. I think you could do without it, but alright.
What a charmer.
I kick out some of my stuff and I throw my pack on the ground and I just make a little makeshift, like, sleeping bag kind of position. Don't even set up the tent, just kind of lay.
Set up some wood and blow on it to make a fire.
Oh, you have produced flame, so making a fire is pretty easy for you.
Yeah.
You just can give it a noogie, like a reverse noogie. Just put your head in it for a second.
Yeah, I just put my face into the fire pit and blow.
So, you have the squirt bottle with you, right?
Yeah.
So, over the journey, the day's journey, Squirt kind of rocks in his bottle a little bit, and when you finally stop, he kind of like starts shaking around, like knocking it back and forth, and kind of like knocks over, and then it starts to kind of roll around. And what do you do?
I think your water friend wants out.
But would you like to come out?
And then it's knocked over, and it just kind of like it jumps like up and then flops.
You know, you only have to stay in the bottle inside town.
Is it corked?
No, I uncorked it so he could talk to us.
Okay. Then he kind of then it like flows a little bit, and then in one second it just kind of like pours out and makes the vaguely humanoid water elemental shape, and it kind of splooshes around, and then it looks at the water, and then it just goes to the water, and then it almost disappears into the water, except you can kind of tell it's sticking out a little bit. But in that moment, you kind of look at it and you kind of realize he's in his element right now.
You know, at the very least, we have someone who can watch the water for us.
True enough. I grab my bottle of body wash and Dante and go to the water too. I'm gonna wash this mutt.
Oh, Tadias, I have something for you.
Really? Well,
Tell
what do
me,
we have?
do you understand Dwarvish at all?
I do, actually.
Oh, well, this will be easy for you. Here you go, and I hand him the Primordial for Dummies scroll.
Hmm?
It's in Dwarven script, but the symbols are the alphabet for Primordial.
Alright. I don't really know how these translate into the sounds you make, but that is good to know.
Well, if you have any questions, just come to me. God is yelling.
Sorry, keep going. I muted the stream, keep going.
And the thunder roars and the lightning, no.
Well, I just feel that it would be wise for more than just myself. If something should happen to me, I was going to speak to Squirt or any of the other elementals we find.
I kind of like give a wide, longing look at the other people, and I look back to Zachariel, and I say, "You know, nothing's going to happen to you."
Well, yes, but should always be prepared.
Don't even put it in your mind. But I will use this. Thank you.
Tadias, if you don't think of death, you can't think of ways to overcome it.
I don't seek death. I don't seek afterlife. I don't seek anything but a good time. That's the only thing I wish to overcome. I start reading over the script, so I'm just going to study up and see what I can learn from it.
All right. You learn greetings. And polite conversation.
Like the "de donde está el baño" kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Except there's no the water closet is not in the primordial language, because elementals don't do that. But
So
there's
it's
one.
just like
There's one question. An example is like the sea of flame sure is hot today.
I'll just say that phrase over and over again, just kind of monotoned.
You kind of hear him say that, Zachriel. And
I think my pronunciation is awful, but
Tadias, the Sea of Flame is always hot.
I'm practicing. Do you mock children when they learn? Huh?
Sometimes.
Well, at least a bit consistent. And I go back to it. The Sea of Flame is hot. The Sea of Flame is hot.
I've gotten into a splash fight with Squirt while I'm washing Dante.
You splash him, and he doesn't really react to that. He just kind of floats over and then engulfs you. And then he walks away, and you're just soaked.
And I just laugh.
Squirt 1, hum 0.
I bring a very wet Hum and a very wet Dante back to the camp, makeshift camp in the fire, so we can dry off. Does he smell better now?
Oh yeah, he smells better. He smells
Smells like wet dog.
He smells like you said you use soap, so he smells like shampoo.
I use soap. Yeah.
Oh,
I
that
use
dog
soap.
smells like shampoo now. Ugh.
You guys would complain if I hung you with a new rope.
A waste of a new rope.
Point made. And I set my little dragon out on the ground. And it's just walking around, throwing sparks.
Well, some of you should probably get some rest. I want to keep practicing, so I'll take first watch.
I'll take first watch with you. I need to fiddle with my toy here.
Does Zachriel instruct Squirt at all? Vis-a-vis
That's
watching.
Probably a good idea. I will walk down to the shore end and squat.
He says yes.
Are you having fun?
Very excited. Everyone here is very excited splashing, and with what you've been reviewing today, Tadias, you can tell that it's a very emphatic yes.
I'm looking at my script, and I kind of while they're discussing, say sorry for the me, probably mistranslating sorry for what I did.
And he looks over to Tadias, and Zachariel, you hear the primordial word for forgiven.
I reach my hand out to pat him on his water mental head.
Splash,
I'm sure it
splash.
just goes through, but
All right,
More
he's a good pool of water.
more happy splashing.
well, I have a proposition for you, Squat.
Quizzical squashing. Splashing.
In this water all the way to town if you do one thing for me.
He kind of like cocks the head water to the side.
I want you to keep an eye out tonight while you're playing. If you see anything that would cause us danger or harm, wake us up.
He splashes around as if to be nodding, and he says in primordial, "I'll wake you up if anything comes by." Well,
if it looks dangerous, alert the person who's awake.
yeah, he gives a hearty nod.
Good boy.
If elementals could blush, he would be.
He might still have some purple in him from the wine.
At this point, he's like clear now, totally
Oh.
clear water because he's been in the river.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. Who is watching? Who's on watch? So Tadias is on the first watch.
Me and him.
Me and Tobias.
Who's on second?
I'll take second.
And then the rest of the night is fine because trance. Elves trance.
I'll take second with Girl.
Oogie. So the night begins to draw on. Nothing happens on the first two watches, however, as Illyria is keeping her sharp eye out, along with Squirt, everyone is woken up by a very loud sound of rushing water. And it starts to just kind of like, it like approaches. And everyone's woken up by it, and in the dark of the river, passing by, you see this. It's hard to make out, but you can tell that it's a boat of some kind that has something that you surmise might be one of those water jet motors, and it just blares past you going down the river, and before you know it, it's already like 150 feet away.
Towards Rollid or towards Forthstride?
Towards Rollid.
They were in a hurry.
Wonder why.
Do you think that's one of those ships that went missing? The same style, anyway.
Most likely.
I've never seen a ship move that fast.
I never heard a ship so loud. Ooh, either way, I'm going to take the rest of my sleep.
The rest of the night passes uneventfully.
Moot, long rest for no health.
Long rest of full health. I'm not saying that it's morning already, if you guys are going to do anything.
Well, should we do something, or should we go look for it? I mean, I know it's really fast.
Well, it's heading the opposite way from where our destination is.
There's not much to track. We really can't know anything about the occupants.
Squirt, did you see anyone on that ship?
He turns to you. He kind of gives like a sad, splashing Aquan primordial dialect of. I couldn't tell. It was really dark.
Well, you couldn't see. It was too dark.
Well, we can check with Forthstride. I mean, if a boat is passing through, perhaps they might have records of it.
Sounds
I
good
guess
to
we'll
me.
find out one way or another.
I grab Dante and cuddle back up to him and go to sleep.
I grab Zachariel and cuddle up to him. Shh, let it happen. Alright, anyway, so morning comes. I'm just gonna start doing my stretches and, getting my stuff together.
Okay. Yeah, morning comes, and let's change the music to fit that.
Ooh.
Which is just the difference between Duskhead Market and Twilight, or not Twilight, Sunrise of the Flutes. And Squirt actually hops out of the water and he kind of like, you get a little wet, Zachariel, because he kind of like nuzzles up to you a little bit.
Yeah. Well, would you like to stay in the water squirt, or do you want to be cramped up inside this small bottle?
He looks at you, he looks at the water, he kind of like taps your hand with like a, you know, a watery arm, and then he flows back into the river. You get the impression he just wanted to say hello.
Good morning to you too. And Zachariel's gonna walk like closer to the river's edge for the rest of the journey.
Okay. The road is pretty close to the river. It's easy enough to do that without being like separated or anything. The day is uneventful and kind of boring. If you want to make more conversation, or if you want to get to the next scene, let me know.
I think we're good to get to Forthstride then.
All right. So, the day passes uneventfully. The sun goes up. Sun starts coming down. And you make it to Forthstride. Let me change the maps. Oh, and let me alter the calendar real quick. So it is the evening of Tarsak the 30th, the eve of Greengrass, which is basically just the transition from the winter months to the spring, although it's been feeling pretty springy already. You guys make it to Forthstride. Whoa, oh no, I put orange in the river. I didn't mean to do that. Alright.
Look at all this orange they spilled into the river.
Alright, so you guys are on the road, and the sun is starting to set, kind of getting your eyes a little bit, and you get to this gatehouse, and there's two militiamen, just two corporals, just doing their job, keeping watch. They give you a nod as you enter the gatehouse and then exit the other side. And when you actually get to here, like this, this junction right here, a corporal is standing right here, and he says, welcome back. He's kind of questioning, like, if you're coming back or if you're first time here or something.
I've never been here before.
He kind of like looks at you, and then he kind of like sees the way shield emblem on your armor, and he says, he kind of waves his hand like, come on. He says, if you haven't been in town for the past couple of days, steer clear of the Clear Currents building. There's a bit of a situation. Kind of a situation all over town, actually.
Oh?
He says, well, if you're not aware of it, Clear Currents had been working on building a sewer system for Forthstride. Water filtration and all that. Well, he has his hand rubbing the back of his head. He says, something happened, and a lot of the elementals in the filtration systems broke out, and a lot of them kind of just went into the river, and a lot of them been wreaking havoc. There's a bunch of them in the Clear Currents building.
Have you tried talking to them?
He kind of like blinks. Well, they've been attacking our men, and No, we haven't, actually. He kind of looks at you like, that's such a queer thing to say.
Some of them are quite harmless, actually. Like this one, and I hold the bottle out.
And he kind of flinches back a little bit as Squirt kind of flows out of the bottle and gives a wave. And then he like backs up a bit. He's got his hand on his sword, and then he looks closer at Squirt, and he says, "Well, from what I heard, the ones that are mostly clear, they're fine. It's the ones that they say that they got dirty somehow, and they have this inky, tendrily muck all up in them. From what I heard, he says, from
Gorbash?
Yes, he says, from what Gorbash has said, the ones that were clear just sort of jumped in the river. And,
Is he the marshal to discuss this with?
well, you know that he is the marshal for the industrial district, this whole area, the hill, with all the elemental guilds. He says, well, yeah?
Well, unfortunately we have to go there. I hope you won't stop us, Corporal.
Oh, no, I can't stop you. I just have to warn you.
Alright, well, you've done your job, thank you. Been an honor. But first I have to go see a man about a trader.
Of course. So what do you guys do?
Let's go.
Where are you going?
Where Zachariel wants to go.
Okay.
I'm going to see Gordon.
Which is on the south side of town.
Yep.
Way Shields it is.
Okay. So you should know where it is, and you can actually drag your token, so why don't you go ahead and do that? Should be on the map. Yeah, and actually as you, well, I mean, tell me what route you're taking. You can draw a line if you want.
Possible, because Hum's got this is her city.
Okay.
Yeah, she's got
So
her
as you go through the city, and oh, hello. Ah, yes. As you make your way through the city, Illyria's going to be with you because as you make your way through the city, you do see some signs of broken siding and buildings, and you see one building in the main drag has like this bursted open wall, and it's soaking wet, and when you pass by, you get the distinct odor of sewage.
That's not Dante.
No, it is not.
But you do eventually make it to the Wayshield's headquarters. And I assume you enter.
Yeah, just barge in.
You just barge in, and boy that's kind of just keeping the armory in the boy that watches the armory and stays at the reception desk just looks up and he says, "Oh, Zachariel, hi."
Mike, do I remember if this is Jeremiah or Juan?
It's, I think, was Jan the one where in like the first time we were in Forthstride in this game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jan.
Okay. Good day, Jan. Is Gordon around?
Yeah, he's in the back. I heard that we had somebody go use our name and kind of do not so good things, huh? He seems a little nervous.
Yes. We're going to get rid of a betrayer. You're going to help.
Well, and then you hear footfalls as Gordon leaves his office and walks over the hardwood floor with his boots, and he says, "Zachariel!" He has his arms out.
I hug him. I hug him deep. Order!
He hugs you back, pats your back. He says, "I have heard a lot.
I have done a lot.
Let me
We
tell you.
have done a lot.
Let me tell you, I've said before that I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you."
Well, you'll be even more proud of me in the next couple of days if I return.
He says, why is that?
Pretty sure I found them.
You found your family.
I think so. Or at least where they were taken.
That's great news.
Yes. Of course, I'm going to kill Yolliver.
Yolliver?
That's not really part of it, I guess.
That name sounds familiar. Is he... He's one of the bandits.
Yes, he's troubling Rolled for a long time. I
He's been
wasn't
troubling...
able to get him last time.
He's been troubling the trade route into Rolled.
Yes, well, he's taken his last piece of precious cargo.
That's what I like to hear. You know, he says, he goes back into his office, and he walks back, and it looks like he's holding something. And he says, "Zachariel, I think you've earned this. You were about to earn it. You've earned it at least twice over." And he hands you a an emblem, a way shield emblem that is bordered with brown, and you realize that he's giving you the rank of a brown way shield.
I'm honored.
He says, "We don't do formal rank advancement, so just pin it on."
Of course. Oh, did you get my my present?
Then he smiles and he says, "We did. He is rotting in the bottom of the Citadel."
Good, good. Good to see that he made it alive. I did tell them to do what they wanted with, so... As long as he's left breathing for you.
Oh. If there's another incursion of gnolls, we'll just put him on the front line.
Well, you might want to put a spear to his back if he's on the front line.
That goes without saying.
Oh, I have another question. Did a young man named Brennan stop by?
He looks to Jan. Jan looks up at him, shakes his head. No, haven't had a Brenlin.
Okay. Nothing major, just potential recruit.
Oh. Well, those are always welcomed.
Well, he said something about the militia, and I tried to... He should be around town.
Well, it takes all kinds, Zachariel. It takes all kinds.
Yes, now, the business, do you know anything about a ship? A very fast ship that would have left town last night.
Furrows his brow. That sounds like a question for the militia. We don't really pay attention to the goings-on with the river.
Just a thought. Have you had any trouble with the elementals?
He says, are you talking about that incident around town?
Yes.
He says, well, one of the Greens ran into one, actually almost put him down, but a couple of militia privates came in and they managed to take him down.
Such a shame.
I hear that they're having some issues at the Clear Currents building.
Yes, we intend on heading there, actually. I would like you to meet a friend of mine.
Cocks his head.
More so than these.
And he's
And
like,
I hold the bottle out.
okay. He looks at the bottle. Are you sure drinking that heavily will help you?
Well, first of all, it's water, and second of all, it's a creature.
Are you saying you have an elemental in there?
Yes. His name is Squirt. He doesn't like fighting.
He looks very bemused, and he kind of just blinks. And he looks at the bottle, and then he looks at the rest of the party. Like, is he okay? He doesn't say that, but he's just like, he has that look in his eye.
Alright, Squirt, come out.
Squirt starts to...
This is Gordon. He's a friend. Give him a hug.
Do you say that in common?
No, I say it in Primordial.
Okay, so he comes out, and Gordon steps back a bit. Jan kind of like puts his hands on the desk and like looks like he's going to stand up. And then Squirt pops out of the bottle, and he like extends his watery, tenderly hand. And Gordon looks at you, looks at Squirt, and then just kind of like reaches out and touches it, and Squirt like tries to shake, but he can't grip, so he just kind of like flows up and down his hand. It's like that scene from SpongeBob with Bubble Buddy. He like cleans his hand a little bit. And Gordon says, nice to meet you, Squirt.
He says, nice to meet you.
And then, like a polite sounding sploosh. And then, he kind of like turns around and then kind of just flows back into the bottle.
Oh, also, Gordon, there's going to be a family staying in my home. Don't hurt them. Help them, if anything.
He nods. He says, "All right." And then he like his eyes kind of like light up with recognition. He says, "That's the family you were talking about, then."
Yes, that's the family that the trader turned on.
Well, that's very good of you. I'll make sure that they're taken care of.
Well, unless any of you all want to join the Way Shields, I think we're done here.
I don't know if I want to join the way he's speaking about drinking this early. I think every adventure should start with drinking this early.
I mean, it's not that early. Like it's the sun is starting to set now.
I mean, he said, like, you know, drinking that much when he's looking at the bottle.
Oh, he thought for a second that was just like a whole bottle of Everclear or something.
Oh, I see. No, I think we're good. But look at you, and I kind of pat his little brown badge. Going up in the world, I see.
Quite of honor. I guess it's... I'm not really sure what it's akin to in the militia, but I'm sure it's something.
Taking clout is useful. Tell everyone below you what to do. Could be something good. But either way, off to Twiddles and Fiddles, we have to go get that family, don't we?
Today, yes, I choose to instruct, not command.
Yes, I've seen how you instruct. And I give him like a raised eyebrow. And I say, the sea of fire is hot.
The sea of fire.
And I assume this conversation is taking place after you guys left.
Yeah, I guess while we're like hanging out there.
Gordon like he greets everybody politely, gives everyone a wave, and then he goes back into his office before you leave.
Interesting man.
Yeah, the worst thing about getting more ranks in the Way Shield, eventually I'll end up at a desk like that old kook.
Nah, not you. You ought to die with your family before I see you do that.
So you guys are going to Twiddles and Fiddles?
We have to
Do
go
I-
with the family.
Okay. So you guys make your way down the drag and then get to the Vardos lane. And let me do some things.
While we're walking, okay.
Tadias, keep your voice down. Your mother might hear you.
She has a way of knowing where I am and what I'm doing and what I've done. Regardless, all right. Anyway, while we're getting kind of close, I kind of like walk a little closer to Carrie Hill and I say, "Hey, are you all right? If the water elementals are everywhere, your friend might be in danger. Do we want to look for him?"
I am rather worried about Rictor, but I believe he can handle himself.
All right, just let me know.
I will do that.
Can you say that again?
I said, I'll be sure to do that.
All right, so Vardos Lane is actually kind of it's actually a little less lively than normal. There are a couple of taverns that are closed down, and fortunately, Twiddles and Fiddles is not one of them. As you enter, and even so, it's still not as many people as you would expect. Not as many halflings, and you spot Gizo immediately at the bar, and he's kind of he's leaning on it. It's got his head in his hands, and he looks kind of upset.
So I walk up to him and I say, "Hey, Gizo, what's going on?"
Oh, well, it's I'm sure. Did you just get back in today?
Yeah, we just got in not too long ago. We stopped by the Way Shields, but I wanted to come and check on you.
Character voice. Well, it's a little disappointing. You know that tomorrow is the Greengrass Festival.
Absolutely.
He gives a sigh and he says, well, because of that whole issue with the sewer system blowing up, a lot of the vendors and a lot of the performance acts can't make it tomorrow. So we won't have the festival.
So, what do you know about that?
He shrugs and he says, well, from what I've heard, seemingly all at once there was a bunch of those filtration devices and he points like northward toward the elemental guilds. He says that clear currents made just sort of erupted and water elementals came out. Some of them went crazy and some of them just ran off. Broke a lot of things with them and a lot of people.
We saw a building that was almost completely destroyed.
And it's not the only one, but we're pretty resilient and we have plenty of lumber in town, but still, there's no festival tomorrow.
Well, convenient that a very star and famous bard has entered the city.
He kind of chuckles at that, looks at Hum. He says, "Oh, you have guests, Hum." And right as he says that, coming out of the door that's sort of off to the side that goes up to the second floor of this establishment, you see
Ephron and
Yes.
Cedric and
actually it's just Ephron, but he comes down and he sees Zachariel first because he sticks out like a sore thumb, and he says, "Oh, Zachariel, good to see you. We've been here for a couple days." And he looks at Hum and he says, "Thank you so much."
No, thank you. Everything going okay? Are you guys okay?
Yeah, we're fine.
How's your wife?
We still have plenty of we have plenty of coin left. We'll manage. I've been looking for a job in the city.
What are your skills?
He says, he kind of gardening, farming.
Oh,
He says, I've tried my hand at the grocer's district, and I think I have a few prospects.
well, at the very least, you'll be staying at my place. There's enough ground there to perhaps start a harvest. You could probably sell some of that.
He smiles, like in a very, he smiles in a very thankful way.
I
And
was never good at it, so
he says, "Would you mind if I started a garden?"
I would. I would love it. And when I return, I would love if you could teach me a thing or two.
He nods and he says, "Oh, I'd be happy to. Are we gonna go there tonight, or?"
Well, we can if you would like, or if you would like to wait till morning, we can do that.
He looks at Hum and he kind of cringes and he says, "Well, if you don't mind, it's a little cramped in your room."
Absolutely, it's made for a gnome.
So he smiles and he says, "We can be packed and ready in a few minutes if you don't mind waiting."
Sure.
So he goes up the stairs and leaves you to it. A couple minutes pass.
Just enough time. Grizo, give me a drink, please.
I turn back to Guzo and I say, so no green grass celebration at all, or we're just doing a small one?
Well, I'm sure a few vendors are going to be out there, but it's not going to be the same. Let's see. He says, "Oh, you remember Akarin? He had that whole setup with the kart racing down the hill." He says he's not coming this year, and that's one of the biggest draws. He says that all of his supplies got ruined when the sewer line in his house went up.
It's too bad.
Unfortunate. So do we know if there's anybody going to be out there? Are you headed out?
He looks like he remembers something, and then he kind of like frowns a little bit. He says, "Well, there's, I'm not sure about tomorrow, but I've heard some rumors that there's a group that is petitioning the Chamber of Commerce to ban elemental devices. And a few people around, a few people on the floor, I've heard them talk about they're going to be putting on a demonstration tomorrow."
What do we know about this group?
You don't know much, actually. In fact, this is the first time you're hearing of it. Oh, was that a question to him?
Yes, that was a question to him.
He says, I don't know much about them. I've only heard about them a couple of days ago. I know that..."
Do you know where they're staying?
He kind of shrugs. He says, "I know I've heard that the person leading is a student at Aldax, but that's all I know."
I don't believe banning is the correct move. However, I believe, on my part, that we can work with the elementals for a better future.
He looks thoughtful at you, Zachariel, and kind of nods his head. And then you hear coming out of the door, Ephron and his family. And Cedric waves happily at the party. And you see they have bags and stuff, and he says, "All right, we're ready."
All right. Do you all want to wait here while I bring them to my home, or would you like to go?
I probably should head next door and take care of that business. You go on ahead without me.
I think I'm going to stick around and talk to Giselle a little bit more. But I'm sure that Dante wants to go with Cedric.
Oh yeah, Dante went up to Cedric immediately and just started giving him dog kisses and stuff.
I'm wondering if our friend Dante might be better off staying with the family.
He's something
Well.
to consider.
That would be Dante's choice.
Dante doesn't know you said that, so he just keeps greeting Cedric.
Unfortunately, I don't speak dog. So, does anyone?
Anyone know speak with animals? Nope, none of you are druids.
I don't have a
Oh wait,
spell.
actually, does Illyria? I'm curious. I think she took it. She might have taken it. I'm always doing cool stuff for her when she's out. Nope, she has Beast Bond, but not speak with animals. Telepathically, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's not. Oh no, you can, emotions and concepts back to you. That's interesting. Yeah, let's say this. Illyria crouches down in front of Dante and does a couple things, and she asks aloud, Dante, would you like to stay with his family? And Dante just kind of like looks at her and barks, and she stands up and she says, I think what I'm getting from him is he'll go anywhere where he gets plenty of food and lots of pets.
Well, I think it might be better for him. We do go through some pretty heavy stuff, and a boy needs a dog.
Cedric just
And Hum
beams.
start to cry.
Aw.
I comfort him. He's alright. I mean, we can see him a lot once we get back from the boat stuff.
Dante, you take care of the boy, okay?
Dante comes back and hugs Hum.
Now, Cedric, I'm giving you Dante. You take really good care of him. You promise?
He nods earnestly. He says, I promise.
Take really good care of them. That way you can keep them.
He looks at Carahil and he doesn't really get the undertone of that, and he says, yes, of course.
I give the slyest of smiles to Carahil.
And so Ephraim says, are we ready? Are you ready? His wife says, I'm packed. And they start kind of motioning toward the door.
I open up the door for everyone to walk through.
What's Carahil doing?
She's gonna stay behind as well.
Okay. Alright, so Zachariah, it's no issue to bring them back to your home. Do you do anything else with them, or you just drop them off and say, have a good night?
Well, I'll kind of spend some time with them, help them get settled in. And
Okay. There's like all of your belongings and stuff. You get a couple of waves of memories and all that sad shit.
well, most of like the good, like the belongings are in that trapdoor. So
That's right. So it's more like it's kind of like an empty. Yeah, it's kind of an empty house. So, yeah. You help them settle in, and they thank you profusely. We'll cut to Tadias walking back to his family's bar, which unfortunately is closed.
I knock on the door anyway, see if anyone responds.
You knock on the door, and door opens, and you see your mother, and she's about to say, "We're Tadias, come on in!" And she just like grabs you and drags you in.
What
She
happened?
says, "Oh, it's terrible. We got this new washroom device installed, and it just sort of blew up, and we've had to have the place closed for the past couple of days, but they haven't been able to come in and fix it. And
Have you thought
the floor is ruined, and we have to get a carpenter in, and they're all backed up with jobs."
I could imagine. Now, is Dmitri alright? His uncle fine? His shop wasn't destroyed at all?
Oh, character-wise, she is also Russian, quote-unquote. She says, Dimitri's fine.
I wasn't sure. I only heard that, Currents was completely overrun. I wasn't sure if it got all the way over to sales or not. But it is a travesty.
It seems that they're just breaking things inside of the building, but they haven't really left, and the militia that belongs to that part of the city has been doing a good job at keeping them contained, but they haven't been able to take care of them.
I see. Well, I've come into a little bit of coin. I might be able to help with the repairs. I might be able to actually buy some things and help with the repairs as well, myself.
She says, well, money's no problem. The carpenters are all backed up, but if you want to replace some floorboards, be my guest.
I'll see what is still around in town to buy. Is father alright?
She says, oh, he's asleep.
Nah,
I bet he's trying to round up. He's been trying to round up a carpenter and got him all tuckered out.
Understood. Alright. It was good to see you. I'm sorry about the nasty business.
And she shrugs and she just hugs you. Are you planning on actually doing something like building wise, or?
I actually can. I'm gonna see around town and see if I can get a carpenter's kit. Spend a short rest, learn how to use it, and see what I can do.
Okay. Well, it's late, so there's no one really open, except for
Alright.
So you kind of get SOL in that way.
No, I'll wait it out until the next day.
Okay. We'll cut to Hum and Gizo. So it's right after everyone except you and Cara Hill left. I'm gonna say Illyria went to go make sure her brother was okay. So it's the three of you. What do you do? Three includes Gizo, and then,
Hum is just sitting at the bar, kind of sniveling because Dante's gone.
We're gonna have like a party drama moment because Cara Hill doesn't give two shits about Dante.
Sarah Hill just orders a drink and tries to calm down after a long day of traveling.
Oh, what do you have? He asks Cara Hill when she orders a drink.
Do you have anything non-alcoholic?
Well, we do have a sweet drink. It's non-alcoholic.
That sounds amazing, sure.
He makes you just this kind of like, if it were in reality, it tastes like a daiquiri.
She gladly sips that.
And he says, that'll be 5 copper.
Sure thing. And I hand him a gold piece.
He just kind of blinks and says, thank you very much.
Yeah, go ahead and keep the change.
Pockets it. And then he goes to Hum and he just kind of like pats her shoulder. You like that dog, didn't you?
I did like that dog. I had that saddle made for him. He let me ride him. It was really neat.
I'm sure the young
He's
boy
better with the boy.
I was going to say, I'm sure that the boy will have fun until he gets bigger.
So who's playing here tomorrow?
Let me check the ledger. And he goes out and he gives you the name of some troop that you've heard of. Just one of your, not colleagues, that's the word I'm looking for. It starts with a P. Peers. P-E-E-R.
Mm-hmm.
And
Couldn't find anybody better, huh?
he says, he kind of just like gives you a side eye, gives you a little sly grin. He says, you know that they're pretty good. And besides,
Yeah.
my best act was out of town.
It's true.
Anything else you're doing?
Can I have another ale?
He gives you an ale. He just pours it for you. He doesn't even ask for money.
Thanks, Kizo.
We cut to Zachariel. What are you doing with the family?
Just helping them get us like settled in, putting their stuff where they want it, helping them clean up a bit because nobody's been living here, so it's probably
Kind of
pretty dusty. Yeah.
All right, so it's easy enough. You know, the night kind of wears on, and they're starting to look really tired, and you actually get some decent help from Squirt, and that whole exchange is just Cedric is just completely mystified, getting his hands wet, and Squirt seems to oblige.
When we're done kind of like cleaning up, and I can see they're starting to get tired, I go outside, and I use my best friend, the shovel, to mold earth some of the ground so to get it ready to be tilled.
That's pretty awesome.
I'll be right back.
All right. Why don't we take 5?
And I do it super fast, so it impresses them when they come out to see it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's an action, so it's just like,
Yeah, it takes me 6 seconds.
if that. So, I mean, they hear like the kind of shifting earth sound, and I guess Renlin comes outside with a torch because it is dark, and he says, "What's going on out here?"
I'm giving you a jump start.
And then he kind of like cocks his eye, and he like rubs his eye. What do you mean?
I just motion to the ground from the shiny light.
He kind of like crouches down and shines the torch over the earth and says, "Oh, that dirt used to be really packed down. What did you do?"
Well, I got it ready for you, with the help of my friend.
And he kind of blinks for a second. Then he yawns and he thinks it better not to question it. And he just says,
Would you like to see?
Sure.
I just continue another small patch of it with the shovel.
He just kind of like, oh, that's amazing. Did you? I heard that there is a mage academy. Is that from the mage academy?
No. I'm not really sure how I came. It found me.
He kind of blinks and he doesn't know what to say to that, and he says, "Thank you. If you don't mind, I'm gonna go catch them the shut eye."
Yeah, you go ahead.
And he goes
I'm
back.
going to. I'll stay here tonight. I'll just be outside if you need me.
All right, thank you. Then he goes in,
Sleeping on my hammock.
sleeping on your hammock. All right. All right, let's take 5. I'm gonna go get
Cool.
more drink and bladder. All right. So, anybody else doing anything this evening, or will the night pass?
Hum has one more ale, and then she heads up to her room. She says, Carahill, you're more than welcome to stay here tonight.
I say thank you very much and follow you up.
Okay. Tadias, anything?
No, I'm just gonna find a little spot on the floor that isn't busted up and just take it
It's not
out.
all. I mean, like the place isn't all busted up. Like the front room is still fine. It's just like you look. In fact, you look in the washroom she refers to, and it looked like they're using it to clean dishes, and the sink is just destroyed. Like this nice like porcelain part of the sink is just wrecked, and like the metal part bent out of shape. And then like the floor around it is just like mildewy, or at least
Fun.
it was mildewy, but they tore up a bunch of it. Yeah.
Hum
So
just tinkers with her dragon for an hour
okay,
and then goes to sleep.
all right. So yes, the night passes. The morning comes, and if nothing else, you all meet up.
Hum was hoping to make money at the Greengrass festival, so she's plotting and thinking in her mind about heading out there just to see who is out there.
Depending on how early it is, I was gonna look around for that kit, maybe a few other things.
Okay, I mean, if you wake up early, then yeah. So, okay. So you get up early, and against her nature, your mother doesn't actually make sure you have breakfast. She just kind of like offers you some toast, pretty much.
I put the toast in my mouth and I run out as anime as I can.
As anime as I can. Big what is he, 6'8"?
He's 6'8".
6'8", very buff blonde man running with toast in his mouth.
I can't believe I'm late. I run just right next door, pop in the door, toast in mouth, look for Hum. I made it.
Tadias, you look frazzled. What's going on?
No, nothing at all. I sit down and I just start munching my toast.
How's your mom?
Unfortunately, we had a wash that involved one of those creatures, and we made a bit of a mess.
Well, I am a proficient tinkerer.
Yes, but I mean, I don't think you're going to be fixing porcelain, wash basins or various other things. I really want to help with the floor, though. I might have to go get some supplies to help with that.
Sounds good. I'll go with you.
I thought you would be performing today.
Well, Giso already has an act, and Greengrass has been pretty much canceled. I kind of want to go out there and see if there's money to be made. We do
Well,
have to buy a ship.
I don't know how well we'll be buying ships if they're trying to outlaw the ships, as well as if all the ships are now perhaps vacant of their creatures.
True enough.
You have yet to try.
So money is useful for certain. Perhaps we should at least figure out how much it's going to cost us before we do anything.
That would be a good idea.
Did Carol stay with you, or where did she go off to?
Yeah, she's upstairs. I don't know when she was planning on coming down. She looked a little tired.
Fair enough. It's been a few days without really resting, thanks to our gentlemen of the sea. So I understand that people would be in those kind of spirits. But nevertheless, I furnish the rest of my toast and I look at Hum and I say, where would we make money in a half-assed festival?
Well, we should go and see who is playing. Because if I can get a stage, I might be able to make us a few little gold pieces.
I mean, regardless of who's playing, they can't be as good as you, so.
Oh, you're too sweet. Let's go see what we can find out.
Right?
Let's go see if we can find enough money to pay for your mother's wood.
Well, money's not the biggest issue. I don't really like how you phrase that, but it's mostly just a labor issue. Many of the buildings around here have been broken, so carpenters are working overtime and making good money.
But if we could pay more,
I appreciate the gesture, but of all of us, we know who needs the help right now. We know exactly where he needs the help.
Is Carahel awake, or is she? What's she doing?
She's still in the room, basically getting ready for the day, saying a few prayers.
Okay. Do you intend to leave with them, or?
Yeah, I'll come up. I'll come down right as they're getting ready to leave.
Okay. I didn't want to be like, and now the party split more. So we will cut to Zachariel waking up in his hammock in the outskirts. What do you do?
I'm going to miss this hammock.
It's a very comfy hammock.
Is the family alive? Do they have a family name?
Yes. The name is... their last name is Greenbloom.
Appropriate.
All right. Well, I just wake up and gather my thing. Do I hear any stirring from inside the house?
You hear, you do. You hear Cedric playing with Dante.
Okay. I'm just gonna... I'll knock on the door.
And you hear Cedric's voice. Who is it?
Oh, Zachriel.
And he opens the door, and Dante, gives you a friendly bark and licks your hand.
Yeah, I bend down and hug Dante.
He hugs you back as well as a dog can.
Goodbye, Dante.
Ruff!
Yes, rough. Anyway, Cedric, are your parents awake?
Dad is. Mom's still sleeping. Are you going?
Yes, we'll be leaving now. I'm sure we'll probably return eventually, but stay safe and take care.
He nods and he hugs your leg, and he says, "Okay, thank you."
Well, I'm still bent down with Dante's.
Oh, okay, then he hugs your arm, shoulder, awkwardly.
I pull him in for a full hug.
Oh.
He gives you a hug and he says, "Thanks again."
Well, we owe you a lot, so. Well, enjoy your stay. Remember, don't go into the basement.
He nods. He says, "Okay." Are there monsters down there?
Yes, terrible, terrible, scary monsters.
His eyes go wide. And then
do you know how you keep them down there?
he shakes his head, eyes still wide.
You listen to everything your mother and father tell you.
He just nods earnestly. I will. I promise. And I'll make sure that I feed Dante every day.
Okay, and make sure you play with him every day.
Yep.
And bathe him, because eventually he starts to smell.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes.
All right. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye. And he just kind of looks at Dante, looks at the trapdoor as you close the door behind you.
I head off to meet everyone else.
Zachariel's child harassment continues.
That was pretty good.
Instructor.
It's easy to meet up with. It's easy to meet up with everybody. As you you I'm gonna say that you guys meet. So Zachariel was actually. Oh god, I have the whole party selected. Zachariel was actually sort of off this way, and you can barely see his token in the camera. And Illyria is like over here, and you know that Greengrass, or the Greengrass Festival, most festivals take place in the plaza area. So I assume that you're going to be heading in that direction. So Zachariel, as you sort of go toward Vardos Lane to meet up with your buddies, which way do you go? Do you go like this way, or do you go this way?
I'm gonna go across here and up.
Okay. So as you pass the plaza, you see a group of people. You see what is like a very bare bones festival, quote unquote, which is it's a couple of vendors, and you see like on stage a small bard troupe, and they're just kind of like tuning their instruments. They look like they're trying to be happy, but they look kind of downcast. Along with other people there, you see them just sort of setting up. So you guys eventually meet. You guys eventually meet right here, and you see what was once. Let's see. You can distinctly remember. Just this time last year, there was a cart race. Like, it's basically just wheels on like a shoddily made bucket of wood that just kind of like rolled down the hill. But unfortunately, today it is not so. But you guys meet up. What do you do?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
How are the green blooms?
Oh, they're good. I imparted some wisdom on the young lad.
Did you scare him?
Well, I don't think so.
I'm just giggles.
Very high eyebrow raise.
Listen, I just encouraged him to listen to whisper.
Nothing wrong with that.
They
That's
have used monsters as an encouragement tool.
Oh.
Okay, that is something wrong with that. What are we going to do with you, Zachariel?
And, well, reunite me with my family so I can do the same.
This is the goal.
There's a band over there gearing up to perform. They don't look very happy.
Well,
It is
without
and
the
it is still
cart
like
races.
it is still pretty early in the morning.
Yes, I believe they're strumming, they're stringing their guitar. I don't know how.
Well, what do we want to do today? Because maybe a little later the festival will be hopping and we can make some extra coin.
Do they? This is a question, Mike. Do they normally have like gladiatorial style fighting for the festival?
Yeah, there's sometimes a melee with wooden swords, padded clothing, but they haven't a gun there to set up yet.
Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to see if Zachariel even in.
Zachariel's gotten pretty high up there in the tournaments.
Yeah, you could say I'm sort of a local legend with a wooden sword.
They say the same about me with the loot.
Well, I know that legend to be true, so.
Well, I know the one about the sword to be true too.
Anyway, should we go speak to your uncle today?
Perhaps I really think we need to get the estimate on our boat purchase and whether or not it's even attainable anymore. With all that's happened, I don't know if it's actually in the cards.
I would also like to meet these people who are advocating for no elemental use.
If they're an accurate group with the anger they have, I'm sure there'll be a performance somewhere around there.
So,
They'll probably be at the festival.
are you guys going to go to? Are you guys going to the elemental guilds now? Or not the guilds? Well, where are you guys going? I should just have that an open-ended question.
I thought we were headed over to Clear Currents first.
I'm cool with that.
Sure.
We agree, so we do it.
Diana's just following everybody else. She has no idea what this type of festival's mean or anything.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she has no idea about the festival because she's not a Forthstride resident, or wasn't one.
Spent all her life growing up in monastery.
I mean,
Really liked the festival Kara held.
I mean-
Food and dancing and music and fun,
And fighting.
but not real fighting, just fighting for fun.
I kind of whisper to her, and the real fighting, don't let her lie to you.
She giggles and says, yeah, it sounds really fun.
She giggles and says, "What? I'm sorry."
It sounds really fun.
Okay,
Well,
so-
let's do the work part so that we can do the play part.
Certainly.
All right, so you guys are going to Clear Currents for sure.
Yeah.
The building proper, or are you going to go to the storefront?
Storefront if possible, I think.
Okay. So
Because the building is the one that got overrun. The storefront might actually still be intact.
okay, yeah. So you guys get there, and you actually see down the street. There's actually a lot of militiamen, kind of just standing watch. It looks like they're there to ward people off from dangers. And I assume you go down. I mean, you guys can control your tokens. So tell me, you can show me where you're going.
Do we see any sign of protesters?
Not here.
Well, I think, correct me, it's over that way. I gotta point to the direction I think it is, because I actually don't know where it is on this map.
It's over this way.
All right,
that way.
knows everything.
So it's this one right here, right? That's the building proper.
Wait. Marked under E in the key in the handouts. What?
So it's the circle.
Why is show to players not working?
I got it.
I got it too.
because
I forgot it.
it didn't. Okay, I have to make it available for the camera.
Ah.
At this point, I'm going to make it available to Brittany, all players, because there's no point to not have it available to you. There we go. All right. So yes, the circle with the river coming out of it, joining the other river. But
So right this way.
But yeah, that and this way, you looking down the street, you notice a lot of militiamen. So as you get there, you're approached by you can tell he's a private, and he says, "You'd be better off taking a wide berth around the Clear Currents building. It's currently a bit dangerous in there."
We have a business to discuss with the Clear Currents individuals. Where will we find them? Where are they renegotiated their business?
Oh, he gestures that way, and he says to the at the storefronts down at the bottom of the hill.
Have you heard any news about the storefronts? Were they hit with all the elementals as well?
He says the Well, fortunately, the display models that they have don't have elementals in them. So, but he says he kind of like narrows his eyes and he says, "Actually, I heard that a couple of the units went missing from inside the building. You wouldn't happen to know anything, would you?" He just kind of like cocks his head. He says that quizzically, not accusatorily.
No, first I'm hearing of it. You said like units went missing?
That's what I heard from Gorbash. That's what we heard from Gorbash.
We
But,
were actually thinking of speaking with Gorbash. We actually were traveling in from the east and we saw a vessel ripping through the river that way. Could that be one of them?
He blinks. He looks like he looks like he's interested in that information. He says that's something you should tell Gorbash. He's over. I think he's over at the storefront now, actually.
Perfect. Well, we'll knock out both of those. Thank you for your business and thank you for protecting our city.
He smiles and nods.
Better go get to the festival. It's still happening. We're still celebrating. And I kind of point to him as we walk away.
He frowns. He says, "I'm on duty."
Eventually.
Oh.
I'm not on duty all day.
Okay, so you guys head to the storefronts, and you look around and you see the store for water elemental appliances, and you kind of walk in there, and it's kind of a sad sight. The place is empty, but it's not because of the festival, and you see at a desk sort of at the side. Think of it like a showroom for like, appliances, right? So it's a flat open kind of warehouse situation, and over at the what is probably the I don't want to say register, but it's where buying and purchasing happens. You see a half-elven man with black hair and a Goliath talking, and you notice you recognize the Goliath as Gorbash, and the half-elf just looks down. What do you do?
Before we draw any attention, I kind of look over at Zachary and I say, "Hey, do you think they'll sell us a boat without the elemental and we could have our little friend do the pushing?"
Well, maybe, but probably best to buy some oars. He is quite small.
I don't know how large the ones they put in the boats are.
Well, I guess good inquire.
Well, my uncle designed a few things for ships. It's just not always the ones that will help us in this case. But we should go talk to Gorbash.
So you guys approach, and Goresh turns around and he says, the Excavators. How are you? Did you just get back into town?
I kind of like puff my chest out so that my badge shows towards him.
Very subtle.
He doesn't seem to notice.
Oh.
Oh yeah, we just got back in town. Heard you're having some issues here.
And you hear a from the half elf, and Gorbash says, "Yeah, you heard about the whole elementals bursting out of their containment and wreaking havoc somewhat."
Yes.
I was talking to Dugan here about it, and we haven't really made any headway taking the building back, but, well, we've been at least containing it.
Alright, now level with me here, Gorbash, but have you tried talking to them?
He blinks. He looks kind of confused. Well, no.
I figured as much. How about you, Dugan? Have you tried talking to them?
He looks up at you and he says, I don't, he says, I don't know Primordial.
Huh. I would figure someone who works on this type of machine would be required to know Primordial, but what do I know? Self.
The Sea of Fire is hot.
That's a catchphrase now. That's the episode title.
I guess so.
Okay. What you said something else, Justin? You got cut off.
Huh?
You said something else, and I think you got cut off for me.
About me saying that anyone who works with these machines should know how to speak Primordial?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that all you said?
Yeah, that's all I said.
Okay. He kind of,
Well, no, further after that I said, but what do I know? I'm just a sellsword. I was being condescending.
Yeah. Gorbash frowns and, like, he doesn't say anything, but, you get the impression that he kind of disagrees with that kind of, he doesn't approve of that, not condescension, but, like, fake, not degradation, depreciation. He looks at Dugan, and Dugan says, "Well, we've got one person on our staff who does know Primordial, but he's on leave."
Oh.
What was this person's name?
He says, her name was FaZe. She actually got hurt. That's why she's on leave.
Well, that's a shame. I hope she recovers well. I don't know if you know this or not, but the elementals, not all of them wish to fight. I'm actually carrying one.
He kind of, like, looks at you and he says, "Oh, how did you come across him?"
Well, let's just say I dried up a wave.
He kind of blinks and he says, "Well, if you're interested in selling it, I'd be happy to take it off your hands."
I am not selling it into slavery.
He kind of blinks at that. All right. And then you look like you get the sense that he looks a little panicked. And he says, "Is there anything I can do for you?"
On another note, one of the individuals of the militia nearby, Clear Currents, described that certain vessels went missing before this entire incident happened.
He kind of he lowers his shoulders. He says, and then Gorbash says, "Ah, yes. The one unit they had in stock here was stolen the other night." And then Dugan chimes in and he says, "Well, there's plenty more inside the building, but we can't get in there."
Now, this one unit that was stolen, do you think it could have been an employee, or is it someone you think broke into it? Was there sign of forced entry?
Gorbash says, "There was sign of forced entry. The door was off of its hinges."
Zachariel, do we have any way to potentially negotiate the situation? I heard that some of these elementals have been sort of tainted in a way.
Well, I, just as an outsider looking in and hearing all the information of what they've been doing, I couldn't imagine anyone who works in it.
You have to say that again. Anyone who works in a what?
In a sewer would be happy.
Marshall, do you think we could have perhaps a chance to investigate this? Your authority permitting.
He blinks, he looks up, he says, I've got no problem with it. Just if things go south, get out of there.
Of course. We also want to enjoy a bit of the day, but I want you to look at something. And I kind of pull out my notebook and I show him the symbol of the crushing wave. Have you seen any of this iconography around town recently?
His eyes go wide when you show him that, and he says, "That's very, very interesting." And he says, "Dugan, show him that graffiti on your desk." And then Dugan looks at the thing too, and his eyes are also wide, and he kind of gestures to Dice over, and over on his desk, behind it, carved into a drawer, is the symbol of the cult of the crushing wave.
So they actually investigated this area as well, not just clear currents. They hit both spots.
It seems that way.
Then can I do a quick investigation just around?
Quick investigation to what?
Just around to see if there's anything they missed.
Sure, roll check.
Yay.
You don't find anything. The people that were, or the militiamen that were in here investigating before rolled higher than 12.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, Marshall, I don't know what to tell you, but this might be the start of some things. The city might be threatened. I don't wish you to feel panic. I don't wish you to.
He doesn't blink, and he says he doesn't even blink, and he says, "Whatever it is, we'll take care of it."
We'll know that the attack will not come from a wall; it will come from the river.
Good to know. I'll make sure the colonel knows, and we'll get that information out.
Do that. And my half-elf friend, I was curious. These vessels that use the water elementals, would you compare them easily to the ones that use the air elementals? Which one is more reliable?
He blinks and he says, if the motor stops, you won't fall.
That is true. Now you say you have no more of the variety that have the water elementals besides the ones that are in currently the clear currents, correct?
Can you say that again, Miles?
Oh yeah, I pretty much said the only ones that have now are in currents, right?
He says we have a couple of shop units. We have a couple of shop units made, and before this whole thing started, had them in the storage room. I don't know if they were destroyed or not, but if they haven't, that's where they'll be.
Now, how much does one of those run?
Well, it retails for 300 gold.
And if we had one of these, and I kind of slide out the little voucher.
He says, I remember giving that out to, his name was Lanad, yes?
Yes.
For him, I gave him 10% off. It would be 270. Then Gorbash kind of elbows him a little bit, and he says, why don't you, if they help you out, maybe clear out the building. I'm sure they have some. I'm sure they've he's gonna. He says he tries to express what a magic weapon is, but it doesn't seem to click in his mind. He keeps trying to get to that. He says, I'm sure they have.
It's alright, Gorbash.
What do you call it?
What he's getting at is potentially we might be making an agreement. We might be able to help you with your situation, and we would like perhaps a rental of one of these vessels.
He says, "Oh well, if you can clear them out, I'll sell you a boat motor for 200."
I look at the group. Dante somewhere else does not like that deal.
200.
I was going to say that sounded like hum.
I personally.
What was your name, friend? Jurgen?
I'm a Doug. He says, Dugan McAble.
Dugan. Right. What if we clear out your storage, and then we stop this from ever happening again?
Kind of eyebrows. How do you mean?
Well, just so happens that I'm going to where they're coming from.
The elementals?
No, the group that did this to your shop.
He looks at Gorbash, looks back at you. Like he's expecting you to keep talking.
The cult of the crushing wave has attacked your facility, stolen your vessels. We don't know exactly who they are or what they want. We just know they follow something called a Hydra.
He blinks and says, "You're saying you'll take him out?"
Well, I'm gonna cut the head off the snake, and whatever happens after that.
Go ahead and roll me a charisma check.
All right. Just straight charisma?
If you have any proficiencies.
Nope.
He says, "Well, that sounds grand. I'd be happy to give you the deal I offered earlier. The 200 gold instead of 300 gold."
I kind of scratch my chin a little bit. I look over at Hum and I say, do we really need the vessel to purchase, or do we just need it for the, invasion of the keep? I think it's only a rental we need, right?
I don't know that we need to own a vessel.
He says, "Well, if you want to rent it..."
Oh, she was about to say, so Mr. Dugan, what if we were to borrow this and return it to you?
He says, "Well, that sounds like a fair deal. If you return it, and if you let's say you put down the deposit of 200 gold, and if you return it, I'll give you 190 back."
So we clear your vessels, we clear your storehouse, we borrow a ship to protect your business, and we pay you 10 gold for it.
Man, you guys just really want to not pay. Make a charisma check, Thaddeus.
I'm more just being sassy than anything.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll roll for you.
Is Hum assisting?
Hum is assistant.
How's she assisting? Just give me something.
It doesn't seem quite fair to pay when we're doing you a favor.
All right, Hum, go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Yay, not me.
Yeah. It says, "All right, if you return it intact, I'll give you the 200 gold back."
Gentlemen. Carahel?
Well, seeing as I only have 8 gold, I think I'll leave.
I only have 14.
The party has 287.
I have some I can contribute. I need this settled, and we need it for other reasons. I kind of give Zachary a look. We will agree to this, and when we come back, we expect a healthy discount on future purchases. Marshall, it's been good talking to you. We're going to take care of our business today, and we will look into it as soon as we can.
What are you looking into?
Clear currents.
Oh, okay. So
'Cause
he
I
says,
don't think we're not to do it right away.
okay. He says, always good seeing you excavators. And you know he's referring to the tablet of stone, or the Order of Stone Tablets. Order of Tablets, I think.
I mean, the only true excavator is that one. And I kind of do like the thumb point to Zachariel.
Good
All right.
day. I puff my chest out again. Good day. Good day. Leave.
He,
Well, let's go check this out, and we'll come back when we find out if there are any units. What about that, Dugan?
I'd appreciate that very much. And back to Zachariel, when you puff your chest out for like the 5th time, he kind of like gets a message. He looks and he says, "Oh, I see you've been promoted.
About time.
Congratulations!" And he goes to shake your
Thank
hand.
you. I shake his hand.
He gives you like a friendly shake, and you know you detect like genuine congratulatory, like good job, man.
I have a question for
vibes.
you. I've been wanting to ask since I got here.
Are you asking Gorbash?
Gorbash, yeah.
Well, what is it?
Did a young man come here recently? A couple days ago, maybe. His name would be Brennan.
Brennan. That name sounds familiar. He didn't come to me, but we have a new recruit by that name.
Oh, good. He's a good lad.
From what I remember, he had a sword with him, and he asked to join the militia, and he's training as we speak.
Good. It's a shame he chose you guys over us.
He kind of like in a friendly way, he rolls his eyes and says, "We're just as important as you. Don't forget that."
I would argue more so.
He kind of he smiles at that and kind of like puffs his chest out for just a moment and then relaxes.
You guys want to go check out these elementals?
Well, I see it as the elementals will not be going anywhere, and we only have one day to enjoy ourselves for this festival.
Ooh, you want to have fun.
Is it so bad that I prioritize that among potentially fighting a bunch of creatures that I've now built some sort of rapport with?
I'm surprised you don't want to check in on your uncle.
I think the man is alright. From what I understand, his shop was not hit, and I feel like I will have to discuss things with him later, depending on the protests.
Okay.
Ooh.
And besides, knowing him, he'll probably be at that festival. He can stop partying with my father.
So that whole conversation took like 40 minutes. And, looking across the river at the plaza area, you can still kind of tell that they're still in the setup stages. It looks like that bard troupe is on stage, but it's not clear if they're performing or if they're just tuning still.
Is General Shops open now?
Oh yeah, they've been open. I was
Where
I was wondering about that.
Where would I go to get a scroll?
Like magic or like
Just magic.
I mean, actually, you just want a blank scroll.
No, I'm looking for a specific scroll.
You're looking for a spell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that would be an Aka.
Naka.
Yeah.
Alright. I look over the group. I was going to go purchase a few things. Exactly how much money do we have in the party fund right now?
We have $287 gold pieces and 25 silver pieces.
Alright. I have a ring I might be able to drop off for the money. I'll make sure I have enough for whatever we do with the boat.
I'm gonna go see if I can find a place in the plaza to make a few coins too.
Alright. Zachary, did you want to try your luck at hitting people with wooden swords?
Well, since you're twisting my arm.
Yes, ever so roughly. Cahill, I'm going to Aka. I don't know if you have any interest in, coming with, but that's where I'm going.
Sure, I would like to.
All right.
I look over at Illyria and I say, "How is your tambourine
How's your tambourine? What?
playing?"
The best.
And she like pulls it off of her, or she pulls it out of her pack, and she just kind of like taps it.
Let's go see if we can get some gold. What do you say?
Her smile brightens, and she agrees. All right. So, Zachariel and Illyria go to the plaza, and Carhill and Thaddeus go to Aka.
Okay.
So when you guys get to the plaza, you start hearing music from a bard troupe that's we'll say that they're here, and there's a stage set up, and it still seems like there's not that much activity right now. There's like a store with wooden crafts, like toys and crap, and there's a stall with a famous, not famous, but like a well-known fair food, like a candy type thing. Let's say it's like taffy, just for the fun of it. And some people are starting to gather up, and although not much else is happening.
Is there any place for like vendors to report to?
Yeah, there's a what do you call it? Administration, a light administration going on. It's one person that is part of this every year, and he's just chatting up with some corporals that are keeping an eye on things.
We go up to them.
Okay. And it is a it's a tiefling woman, and you go up to them, and she looks down to Hum and up to Zachariel, and I guess eye level with Illyria, and says, "Oh well, what can I do for you?" And you recognize her as Shirley Jalak, one of the people that run festivals.
And does she recognize me?
She says, you're Hum, aren't you?
I am. And I was hoping that I might be able to get in on the festival today.
She says, oh no, that'd be pretty simple. After that act, and she like looks at a clipboard, and she says, after that act, the Smithies, I think? Yes, there's pretty much the rest of the day open.
Oh, I'm gonna miss the Smithies. Damn.
It's okay. They're not that good.
Okay.
Well, I would sure love to borrow the stage for a while today, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. And she writes your name down. She says, if no one else comes up, it'll be yours. And she looks kind of sad.
It's okay. We'll get this party rocking.
And she smiles at you.
Even in tragedy, we need fun.
She's all you're on the ledger.
Thank you so much, Shirley. And I wander off and go and get some of that taffy.
For Zachriel, you do see over in sort of the arena area, there is a person who's he's got like a big duffel bag, and he is slowly setting up a bunch of wooden swords with cloth wrapped around them.
I will jog over.
It's a human man, and he sees you, and he recognizes you immediately, and you don't really remember his name, but he is one of the folks that runs the tournament, and he says, "Oh, Zachriel, joining the tournament again?"
Oh, well, yes.
He says, "Not many entrants, not many have entered this year." He kind of sighs, but should be a couple good matches.
Oh, well, I'm sure more people will come now.
He says, he kind of, what do you say that?
What? Oh, come on, they want to take down the legend.
He laughs, and he clasps your shoulder for a second, and he says, "Well, maybe they will raise a little bit more money."
Yes. Everyone needs money nowadays.
He says, "Oh, it's for the." He says,
Yes, what are you giving your money to this year?
He says it's for the. It's for the orphanage attached to the Yolanda Chapel. Yandala Chapel. And you don't know what god this is, so it just kind of sounds like gibberish to you.
Yes. Gotta love those clerics and priestess taking care of children.
He nods, and he kind of you see him kind of like raise his hand to his chest and kind of like squeeze what's probably an amulet underneath his shirt.
Oh, yes, of course. I raise my hand up and squeeze my badge.
He kind of like blinks. He says, "Well, here," and he hands you a sheet that looks like a sign-up sheet.
All right, I sign up.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Illyria and I have found a nice little spot, and we're practicing, but I threw my hat out.
Okay. Roll a charisma check, or roll a performance check.
Ooh, we're having a rough night.
You're just warming up.
We're warming up.
You're warming up. Somebody puts a copper in your hat, and that's all you get. For that instance, anyway. We'll cut over to Tadias and Carahel making their way to Albec's Center for the Arcane Arts.
So, Carahel, do you remember any festivals, or are they all in the past time?
I was never here to enjoy them.
I've been to a few of them. It's been interesting, but I'm very excited to see your impression of hopefully a decent time.
Yes, I'm excited to see what you guys are so excited about.
It's a different kind of energy, you know. Every day is different, but there's something nice when a community can come together and do something different. I really do miss the races, though. Those were my favorite.
Hey,
Hopefully-
roll a just for fun, roll a dexterity check that you would have taken last year.
Okay.
Just
Oh, I don't know the advantage.
so
Eight.
you a memory flashes through Tadias' mind where he was in the kart race last year and he crashed.
I kind of like grabbed just a little bit of my shoulder where I kind of like fell down. I was like, yeah, good times. But next year, most certainly, I think you and I could take it. You know, I'm not the most dexterous, but I'm hardy and I can take hits. But I feel like you, especially you could win it all.
Yes, most people have always said how dexterous I am.
You're quick. I mean, you move fast. I mean, maybe not as fast as me, maybe faster. No, it depends. I mean, when racing, I guess you beat me, but we'll find out, right? Anyway, I'm here to pick up a friend, and I don't know who he is yet. Or she is, or it is.
How will you find her then?
I'm hoping magic.
All right.
So as you guys you turn the corner where your tokens are. And you turn the corner, and I need to move the stream sheet. Crap. Oh, good thing roleplay is mostly talking. Around the corner, and you see actually jogging toward you, sort of not exactly paying attention to what's right in front of him. He almost collides into Tadias, and he kind of like puts his hands on you, and you look at him and you see that he's a white dragonborn, and he's wearing common clothes. He's got purple eyes. And he's, excuse me, and then
You all right, friend?
I'm good. I'm just late. Sorry. And he runs off.
What do you think that was about?
This is an academy, isn't it?
And you notice he's running away from it. But you check your person, and he wasn't like a thief or anything. All of your stuff is still with you.
Class could have run late. He could be late for something around the city.
Perhaps we'll ask about it when we get there.
So you get there, and you just like go to the front entrance basically?
Wherever like the gift shop is, the money making, give you gold for things part of it is.
You know what? Yeah, there is a little gift shop like that. And there is just a bunch of like kind of magic knickknacks, stuff that is akin to Hum's toys and things that make little sparklies, and then there's like a couple tools that are like there's like a couple of like light cantrip infused lamp things, stuff like that. And there is a book section, and there are a couple of scrolls sort of organized with certain spells. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for Find Familiar.
I figured. You find it, and it's behind a glass case.
I look around for an attendant.
There's an attendant. You wave him down. It's actually a we'll say it's young for an elf. Comes up and says, "How can I help you?"
Hello, sir. I'm looking to purchase a scroll of Find Familiar.
He says, not a problem. You can. We have those available, but we don't. We tend to not sell them unless the person using them can actually cast the spell. I just need to have you sign something before I sell it to you.
Interesting. All right.
And he gives you a little form, and it basically just says, you won't besmirch or like badmouth or try to sue in small claims court, aka Chamber of Commerce, against the school if you can't cast a spell.
That's funny. All right, I sign it off.
All right, he takes it and files it away, and then he opens the cabinet and he says, now I gotta look up something.
I actually don't know the price. I should be able to afford it, but we'll see.
Darn it, DM screen didn't give me that. To Google. I don't have my DMG in front of me. should have my DMG in front of me. Ah, okay. He says, well, that'll be 60 gold, please.
60 gold. Now, my signed paperwork, that means I am creating an account with the Aka group, correct?
Well, you're not actually, we don't actually have, buyer accounts. Would you like to?
I was just curious if I was going to have to sign this again every time I come in here.
He says, that's interesting. We've never had a repeat well, we have had repeat customers, but most of us you know what? That's a great idea. And then he goes into the back and he kind of has a chat with somebody, and he comes out and he says, sure, we'll say that counts as you're creating an account, and we'll have you here in our records.
Perfect. I pull out 60 gold and I kind of hand it over.
He takes it and he puts in the thing, and all yours.
Also, as you know, I probably need some incense to make this thing work.
Ah, of course. And he goes to there's like a shelf behind the counter, and he pulls out a box, and he says, then that's 10 gold, please.
Done. I hand it over.
Okay.
I have 1 gold piece and 131 silver.
You have fine familiar.
Nice. All right. Well, I have all my stuff together. I turn to Carol. Is there anything you like on the walls?
Is there anything I'd like? No, there isn't.
All right. Well, by this time, Hum's probably got that carnival going crazy, so we can go back and you can get the proper first impression of it.
Sure, let's have some fun.
All right.
All right. Some time passes. Hum and Illyria are on stage now. Zachariel, you notice that there's a bunch of there's at least 11 other contenders. One moment. Let's see. So still have other. I'm gonna have to make a tournament tree just for Zachariel, aren't I? Let's see. So go ahead.
In the interest of time, you can do whatever you want to do with it. But
I wanted to at least give you something. Perfect.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so you played pretty well, and people seem to be getting in a happier mood, and you start getting tips. Looks like there's at least 20 people now in the audience, not in the audience, but actual festival goers, and we'll say that you make that's not a good number. In the first hour, you get 14 gold. And so let's have a couple scenes, What? Oh god. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so all right. Your first opponent, Zachariel, is a halfling, who is wielding one of the swords in two hands. Every contender gets a sword. So he's doing it two-handed, and he looks up at you, and you guys start to have at it. So go ahead and roll an attack.
All right, should I just use the shovels macro since it's not a?
Yes, sure.
Oof.
Oof. So he and you guys rush each other and kind of like parry each other and take attacks, and he gets a hit on you. We'll say the first to 3 wins. So roll again.
All right. Ooh.
Oh wow! And this halfling just kicks your shit in, and you're eliminated.
First to 3, right?
Yeah, he's got
Oh,
one.
I said first to 3. I didn't say best out of 3. I'm sorry. I am sorry. All right, we'll roll again.
Roll it back.
Ooh. Oh!
Yeah.
I'll count that as 2.
Bam! Right in the head.
And you just kind of like you wake up after getting warmed up. What do you say? I need a cool line.
But I don't have anything.
You don't have anything, and you hit him.
I'm just testing you, little one.
All right, one more roll. This will decide it. Damn, this fucking, and you get eliminated.
Dude, you are rolling hot fire.
Rolling hot shit.
Thank God it's not.
Is that why you're not? Is that why you're not going into the building?
Yep.
And Zachariel gets eliminated. The halfling just kind of like he smiles, and you get this impression that he's holding back being a dick, and he just shakes your hand. Tries to shake your hand.
Hold out my hand and I say, "Well fought."
Thank you. And he shakes your hand, and you can tell that he looks extremely giddy because he kind of recognizes you. Roll another performance check, Hum, for the next hour. And by this time, Tadias...
Oh.
Damn. Tadias and Carahill have gotten back by now.
Isn't Illyria helping her? Does she get advantage? No.
Well, Illyria's got a -1 charisma, so...
All right.
That's what's going on. Is hilarious.
The tambourine is just off.
The tamperine's off beat, and she's... I don't want to play her character for her, too.
Fair enough.
It's a little offbeat though, and she's just doing her best, but it's kind of throwing off Hum a little bit. And you don't get any tips in this hour. So what are Tadias and Carahill doing?
If it's
Flinching
not
at my horrible music playing.
if it's not too much time on the way over, can we say I just dropped off my 25 gold ring and got some gold for it?
Sure.
Yeah, just because I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not proposing to nobody anytime soon. Hey, cool. And I get over to the festival with Carahill. What do we see when we get there?
You see on stage near the arena is when you get there, you actually see you actually see Zachariel kind of leaving the arena. What kind of emotion is going through Zachariel's head as he gets beaten?
He just feels out of practice.
Alright.
He's not upset or angry. Just...
Dang.
Yeah.
Alright.
Zachariel! I kind of wave over to him from a distance.
Just haphazardly waves back.
Having a break between rounds?
Eliminate it, actually. That halfling is quite the formidable foe.
Oh, it's just touches, isn't it? There's no way you'd lose to a halfling if it was actual hitting each other.
Well, it's all for fun, right?
I guess. But they're still taking participants.
Now, if they had let me use my shovel, maybe that would have... But...
Oh, yes, of course.
Beep boop.
Sorry. Alarm being set.
Are Still taking participants.
Well, they need all the funds they can get, so I believe. Why don't you try your hand, Carahel? You're pretty good with a sword.
I suppose I could.
You're much harder to hit than all of us, especially out of armor.
So, as you guys are discussing this, wait a minute. It's very loud in my house. One moment. As you guys are discussing this, just to make a detail clear, these things here, they're either bleachers or like wooden bleachers or stages. Actually, right next to sort of Hum's stage is his bleachers, and you notice as a group of people starts to sort of gather around it, and they have oh my god, they have sorry, I need to consult my notes. Beep beep beep. Group of people, about 15 of them, carrying signs, and signs with slogans that say in common, stop enslaving free beings and let the work be done by the common folk. And Tadias and Carahel notice the Dragonborn that ran into them earlier, the lanky white-scaled Dragonborn, as he starts to walk up to the top, and he says, he starts to speak, and I didn't actually expect us to get here, so I'm going to I think I'm going to end the session here, actually.
Nah.
If that's alright with you guys.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah,
Come right back to get some
he
rhetoric.
he gets up and he starts to he basically tries. Actually, we'll open up with is him trying to shout down Hum to make her stop playing.
What?
Oh, that's not gonna go well for him.
So
There's one thing protesting businesses, but how many got you? We're gonna bounce for you.
I don't know. It depends on what he says.
Yeah, we'll see.
all right, we'll unfortunately have to see in a couple weeks because I'm gonna be out of state. Blah.
Oh no!
Don't wanna, but yeah. So
You should just quit your job and DM. You know,
just quit my job and get paid to DM and hate my
Yeah.
life.
I'll never play with you again. Sure.
So yeah, that's where we'll end the session today. I hope anybody who's watching it, either on YouTube or Twitch, had a good time. Thanks so much to everybody. We'll see you in a couple weeks with more exciting RP. Bye.
Hooray! Goodbye.